How do you make sure that you don't lose information in the light and dark areas in your photo when you're editing in Lightroom Classic? The secret is to use the histogram here. Watch what happens if I use the exposure slider to make the image darker. As I make the image darker, eventually notice this triangle here turns blue. That means we're starting to lose some color information in the shadow or darker areas. And if I continue to make the image darker, this triangle turns white. That means we're losing a lot of luminance information in the shadow or dark areas. The opposite's also true if I increase the exposure. Notice that this triangle has gone blue, which means we're starting to lose some color information in the highlights or light areas. And if I continue to make the photo brighter, eventually this triangle turns white, which means we're blowing out the highlights essentially and losing information in those brighter areas. Just going to reset this exposure. You can also toggle on these triangles. So if I click this triangle, it will allow us to see shadow clipping in the photo. And now once again, if I decrease the exposure, you can see down here that we're getting these blue areas where the shadows are starting to clip. And it's not just the exposure slider that can make this happen. If I decrease the shadows here, we get a similar thing happening. And if I decrease the black slider here, anywhere where we're seeing this blue is where we're losing shadow detail. And you can toggle this off by clicking the triangle and toggle it back on. The same thing applies to the highlights here. You can click this triangle to toggle on highlight clipping, and if we were to increase the whites, notice that parts of the sky start to turn red. This is where we're clipping or losing highlight information. And you can turn this off by once again clicking the highlight clipping triangle here, and you can see that area of the sky has almost gone completely white. We've lost all detail there.